for the third edition of the next wave. And this time I have Preetham. Hey, hi Preetham, how are you?
Hey everyone. Hey, doing well, thank you. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for making time. Like, what's the time there now? Like,
It's 6:30 in the morning.
oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we probably will give folks a couple of minutes to join in, right, before we start.
Sounds good.
Just checking in the. Yeah, just for the folks who have joined in, we would be having a session, uh, and the question and answers. You can continue to ask your question and answer questions on the chat window using the engage button on the right hand side that you would see. There you can drop your questions that we would take at the end of the presentation. And we'll wait for a minute or so and before we start. Okay, I guess it's time and we can get started. Hi, everyone, to the third edition of Next Wave. And as I keep saying on everyone that I would get our product team, I'm super happy to introduce you to Preetham, our VP of Product and Growth. Preetham, over to you
Hey
to
everyone.
probably introduce yourself. Yep.
Hey everyone, thank you so much, Sri, and I'm happy to be here. Hi everyone, my name is Preetham Gurram, and I work on the product team.
Yep. So, yep, Preetham is based out of Canada, takes care of our complete product portfolio and growth. So, thank you, Preetham, for making it at 6:30 in the morning, right? And as I was telling everyone, uh, it'll be probably a 30 to 35 minutes session, and you can leave your questions using the engage button on the right hand side, where you would see a chat option, and you can send your questions, uh, which would take it at the end of the session. So let's get started. Let's see what we have. For people who are new to this monthly webinar, we basically go through what we have released in the last month and then walk you towards something that is coming in the next month or so. So let's get started. Yeah, the first and the bigger one, the biggest one is OneIdP. On the OneIdP side, we have now launched a unified portal, or what we call the user portal, for the end users. Now, as people who are following OneIdP know that we already offer SSO configurations in combination with keycard and JIT admin. Currently, what we used to support was service provider initiated logging. That is, if you set up Gmail, HubSpot, and Intercom, the end users would have to launch Gmail, HubSpot, and Intercom, and then sign into the respective portals, though it was single sign-on. Now we have provided our own portal, reachable at app.oneidp.com, and people can just sign in and then access all the apps that are assigned to you with complete single sign-in privilege. Right. Again, the user portal is also completely product protected. You as an IT admin can set conditional access to it using an MFA on a Scalefusion managed device or a third-party authenticator, and completely customizable. As the slide mentions, you can add your company's logo, support email, wallpaper, arrange the applications that are visible to the end users. You can enable what apps a user should see, each service provider should offer. We have seeded them for like Google, we have offered Drive, email, slides, all of them are pre-filled, so you don't have to add those URLs or shortcuts for them. Right? It follows a least privilege. That is, if the user signs into the user portal with a third-party OTP, but the SSO configurations require a higher authentication mechanism, then it will be enforced. But if it requires a lower authentication mechanism, then the user experience would be completely seamless. So with this user portal, your end users or employees can be offered a single portal to access all their work apps. They don't need to have multiple bookmarks or shortcuts or saving of passwords. You now complete the story with this one URL. Okay, let's go to the biggest of them all. For this, I will probably leave it to Preetham, who has a pivotal role in completely from conception or inception to the delivery. He and our other product manager, Funny, worked on this. So Preetham, over to you.
Oh, thank you. I think she was just being too kind. It was mostly funny. I was just there. But if anyone has done compliance in your organization for various reasons, you know how tedious and how time consuming it can be, and how daunting of a task can be, especially when it comes to endpoints. It's very difficult to adhere. First of all, understand what the compliance standards are and understand what exactly those translate to in terms of device needs. So with this brand new feature, what you can directly do from the Scalefusion's dashboard is with a single click of a button, you can actually not only adhere all your devices to CIS level 1 compliance, but you can also remediate. So what I mean by that is you have the option to monitor, as in like if your organization asks you to say, how many of my, like, how are we against a CIS? And if you want to be certified for CIS level 1 compliance, you can go on to our dashboard, set that, pick that template directly, and then assign it to all your fleet. And with a single click of a button, if you're just doing a monitoring, you'll be able to see a list of devices and what the current standards are, and if you meet CIS level 1. And if you select the automatic remediation, it also ensures that not only monitors, but it tracks and makes sure that the devices are in compliance. And if you've done any level of compliance, like I said before, auditing is a bigger part of that. And so you can actually go on our dashboard and get a fully brandable, like a report that you can share with your auditors so they can understand exactly what the current state is in terms of compliance when it comes to your devices. And for the phase 1, we're more focused on macOS, iOS, and iPadOS. But we have more to talk about in the future slides that are coming up. And we're not going to stop with CS level 1. There's more coming. And again, super excited about all the possibilities and the amount of time and money savings that are going to come with this particular feature that the team has built.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Preetham. Just wanted to check, right? We do support multiple flavors of Mac OS and iOS, right?
100%, yeah. So correct. So it's not just for the latest versions of iOS and macOS, but we have multiple different flavors of macOS that we do support, and same thing on the iOS side. So you'll be able to monitor. So they have a slightly different policies that kind of translate to for different flavors of versions of OS. So that's why you would see, as a good example, like if you have an older device, biometric. So CIS would simply say, hey, I need a biometrics enabled. So biometrics could translate to a touch ID or a face ID, in depending on the kind of device that you're using.
Nice. Cool. Thank you, Preetham. Let's go to the Windows updates, right? One of the frequently asked features that we had was the ability to roll back a particular OS update. And now you can do that. Obviously, the update has to support the ability to roll back. And once that's done, once the update supports that, if it is updated, then you would see an icon next to it using which the IT admins can roll back. And at the same time, one of the options that we have provided, we had got a request recently from one of our Indian customers to block the automatic and user initiated updates if the update is configured. So let's say you as an IT admin have configured the updates, right? The OS updates. Even then, the end user was able to update the OS by themselves. So we have now provided options where you can say that if you have configured the OS update options, then the end user cannot update it by themselves. So you get both the power. One, the end user cannot update by themselves, and you also, if let's say the IT has rolled out accidentally a wrong update or an update that is causing a problem, then you can roll back. Obviously, the update settings, the rollback settings are available using the OS update and patch management, a single configuration to cover them all. Pritham, you want to kind of stress on the fact about updates? Like I see you quite touchy and feely about the entire update things. Like you want to kind of share some uh, insights into this.
Sure. Especially around like any OS updates, right? So we've been burnt in the past with always upgrading to the latest version. So especially on the Windows world, because there are so many permutations and combinations, and things are bound to fail. And it's even when you have the whole staggered rollouts with having like a test cycle in the first, and then making sure that you know uh, you're testing the updates and making sure everything is okay, but there's still room for errors where things do happen. So I'm super pumped about this feature, especially where you can revert, which is going to be huge, especially for IT admins. And I know everyone's going to breathe a sigh of relief when they know that it's not the end of the world, where the moment something bad happens, now you can go back.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And with the integrated feature, there are no complex scripts, etc. It's just a click of a button right from the
Yeah,
dashboard that can
correct.
roll back an update. Right. Let's move on. Yes, yeah. The fine-grained USB control. So we covered OneIdP, we covered a bit of compliance. Adding more on the Veltar side, the IO device access control has been extended for Linux. You can actually manage the keyboards, mice, and the webcams. You can even control the USB headphones that are connected. You can block or allow printers and Wi-Fi adapters as well, right? So everything that we had for Mac plus additional Linux specific features. Just to that the fine-grained controls for USB is already available or was already available for Mac, and now Linux joins the offering. And not only the controls, what we also offer you is the auditing. You can, as an IT admin, see the USB devices that were connected and also a detailed report of them. So the Veltas IO device access control has now been extended to Linux, and pretty soon probably we'll have it for Windows as well. Okay, quickly the Android device management, right? We covered Mac, we covered Windows, we covered Linux. Like we cannot leave behind Android, one of our personal favorite platforms, right? So we saw that the BYO enrollment. We currently use an invite-based mechanism where a QR code is sent, but now the user with only a mobile device or a user on the move need not have another device to scan that QR code. So what we have made sure is there's a invite link that's sent. User just clicks on the link. They'll be navigated to the Google Play Store to download the Scalefusion app, and then they just can launch it, and it will be a complete deep linking or an automated enrollment. With just one click, the user will be navigated to Play Store, download the app, and then also silently enroll. Uh, we have provided now the option to admins to block the users from disconnecting from VPN. So that's one of the things that you can do both on the company owned and BYOD devices. Please note that the VPN on Android works only on the work profile if you're doing it for BYD, so you don't have to worry that their personal data is going through the VPN. On the Zebra devices, we have enhanced the complete enrollment experience for company owned, automating almost every permission that's required using the Zebra MX framework to completely automate it. If customers are using ELO touch devices, we have integrated with ELO SDK to support the ELO view devices, I'm sorry, for an enhanced management. And for people who are new, we do offer an MDM SDK, an SDK that can be used by your line of business apps or enterprise apps to perform most of the management actions by yourself. Like you can choose to restart the device, to connect to a Wi-Fi from your app, or reboot a device, relaunch an app, stop an app. Now we have extended that SDK to provide you all the device level custom properties that are configured on the portal. So let's say on the portal you have added additional properties to a device, and your app on the device wants that information. Your app can just integrate MDM SDK and query those custom properties in real time. You can also update them. A simple use case is you want to update the device name from your app, and now your app can accept the name from the end user, use the MDM SDK, and pass it on to the Scalefusion app on the device, and the name would be reflecting on the backend. So MDM SDK allows you to kind of extend the manageability from your app. So extend certain portions of Scalefusion and use them in your application. So that's on the Android side. Okay, on the Windows agent side, moving on, this is on the UEM side. We have hardened the ProServe file dock and remote support. the last month around, we had released a feature where you could password protect the uninstallation of the Windows Scalefusion MDM agent. Now that has been extended to ProSurf, which is our browser, file doc, and remote support. It works across all the account types, including the standard users, so that both the standard users and admin users cannot uninstall the app, or they would be asked for a password to uninstall the app. And this password, you as an IT admin can view it. So in the worst case, you can give them, if you would want. Please note that when you delete the device, all the Scalefusion agents are automatically cleaned up. But in case you want to reinstall something, or the end user wants to reinstall the app, you would have to give them the password, which you can view on the dashboard, on the device details screen. Right. At this point of time, I just want to say, Preetham, like, do you see this actually a challenge? Like, what's your thoughts? Like, we did build, because there were some features. Do you really think this is a widespread challenge where the admin accounts somehow abuse this?
The admin accounts abuse this as in like so
They
agent hardening.
uninstall, yeah, they
Yeah,
uninstall the apps.
yeah. So that's been a very big challenge, especially one of the biggest trends in the industry that we always see and we talk to people is agent fatigue. The fact that on your machine, like you see a bunch of apps already taking up your taskbar and like your startup menu, and people do get worried about the fact that there's too many agents running on their machines, and oftentimes and especially there's also a lack of user education aspect to it, where they just go and uninstall an app which they feel like they don't recognize for some reason, or they feel like something is taking too much of space, for example. So in the past, like I remember we used to have a customer where people used to uninstall the agents from their devices just so they can install a game, because it's not letting them install a game. And users will always try to find a way to do things that you don't want them to do. So and oftentimes, and so things fail when it's very critical. Like for example, if I'm trying to do a remote control to the machine, and if there's no agent on that machine, so now the whole connection is broken, and the whole ease of use with Scalefusion kind of breaks. So having agent hardening around it is very critical, and is one of the highly requested features across all the IT admins and across the industry that we talk to. Is I want to be able to restrict users from to be able to uninstall, like who don't have access to it, or like it has to be protected somehow. So this is going to be huge, and I'm super excited for this.
Cool, cool. Just as you were talking, like we should extend this to the third-party line of business apps if we can to
Yes,
kind of
100%.
to the apps. Yeah, yeah, probably yes. Cool. Thank you for adding color, Preetham. Let's kind of move on. Yes, a kind of one of a very small feature. Probably the marketing highlighted this a lot, but yes, an important one, right? One of the things that we did was for the enterprise Android enterprise app configurations, or the line of business apps. We mapped the. We used to have the configurations per release. ScaleFusion's Enterprise Store offers you multiple releases, but we used to have the configs against a release. So you as an IT admin had to kind of make a config every time you had a new release from your developers. We kind of sorted that out. We made it easy. Now there's single configuration tied up to all your releases. But please note that each release may have added a new configuration key or deleted a key. So we now indicate a deleted key or a key with the version number, so you know that the changes would apply to which version. So the changes are very simple. An app configuration for Enterprise Store, which was at a release level, has now moved it to an app level. So you as an IT admin can create one configuration and use it across multiple versions. So that's a change there. Let's see. Yes, some branding enhancements specifically for Android that we have been getting from the field that you can now do. You can now show or hide the brand name, the complete brand name that you probably see on the top. It was always there. We never kind of, or maybe it never became super priority, but over the last 3-4 months, we have been asked, getting requests from people to hide that name. The logo can now be aligned. It was always on the left. Now you can make it completely in the center. One of the important things, mainly for support, like when the device is on the field, and because it's a complete company-owned device, right, where the launcher is a dedicated kiosk launcher or a custom launcher there, you as an IT admin would want to see the Scalefusion device ID, the IMEI, the MAC address or IP, all this information for support. Right now, the device is on the field where we do not know, and the user also doesn't know. So we have added a option where the user can just click on it, see the device info, and pass it on to you. You as an IT admin obviously can control the visibility of this menu. This has been added to device profile. The lock screen orientation gets a little bit enhancement. We used to offer the ability to lock the orientation to portrait or landscape. We now support both reverse portrait and reverse landscape as well. One of the things that we have built is the ability to block incoming calls on EMM devices using an add-on app called Call Assist, which is available in the Scalefusion recommended apps. And now this is important, or becomes important, only if the company-owned devices, when you're providing the SIM, obviously it doesn't work on the BYO at all, bring your own device at all. Only on the company-owned devices, when you provide the SIM, or when a company provides the SIM, or they want to block the usage of personal SIMs, you can choose to block the incoming calls. One of the frequently asked features is on a company-owned, fully managed device, setting the lock screen type to none, so that the end user doesn't even have to swipe. Minimal education, kind of an always-on screen. So, kind of that you can now set to lock screen type to none. Uh, yeah, the MDM SDK that we had, you can, beyond the custom properties, you can also, the MDM SDK that I was referring to, your app can also request to stop an app when not required. So let's say your app detects that another app is running and it needs to be stopped. You can tell the Scalefusion, because Scalefusion, being the device owner app, has the privileges. We can do that for you. Okay, I think we are in the kind of final stretch here. The OS patch management reports that we had now gets a boost. Again, we used to merge critical and security updates and give you a single number on how many critical updates were pending. We now broke it down to critical and security updates, so two separate counts for you, so that you as an IT admin can get the complete posture of the device based on these parameters. And we also added the Android OS update report. It used to cover the Windows, Linux, and Mac. On Android and Mac, we now have added Android to that. Please remember, on Android, you cannot force an update, except if unless you're using Zebra Lifeguard OTA. We can only query the updates, and we show the updates to you. And now that in the report, you can download it for your auditing purpose. Again, I would like to take Preetham's help here, like, or maybe if you can shed some light, Preetham, on the separation of critical and security updates, why those classifications help, and how the reports can help.
Yeah, especially around like OS updates, right? So oftentimes, like I'm like, you know me personally, so like I'm a big fan of the idea of having reports, because there's the proof, right? So that shows like what you've done and what you've accomplished, and it gives you a current state of the machine. So oftentimes what happens is so security updates are some of the things that you might want to do at a different cadence compared to updates that are like mostly criticals and and majors that you have. It could be a feature update that you're trying to do. So now combining all into one kind of is not fair, because like you when I give you a report, that tells you nothing. And especially if you're trying to do it on the Mac OS side, right? So there's the rapid security updates that the RSR is like rapid security release that Apple does, which is way more often, and they usually try to fix some kind of vulnerabilities and that come as part of that. So like when you're trying to build a report, like decluttering that into like different sections is kind of gives you a clear understanding of what what the report is and how efficiently that you're able to perform in the task that you're trying to do, and also gives you way more control on your existing fleet of devices. And as we're getting to the what's coming next, and I'm super excited, which probably we won't be talking today, but about how more improvements we're trying to do around updates and how people can get value from those reports, basically.
Yeah, probably we break the protocol and talk a bit there at the end of what you're going to do next. Yeah. But yeah, I would like to thank a customer who actually reported this and kind of got this feature. Yes, As you said, Preetham, it's important. The proof is in the pudding, like, which is what we
Right.
have done, and that breakdown is important. So thank you for the customers who actually reported this and got this changed.
100%.
Let's see what's next. Okay, we are into the phase where we have covered what we have released last month, and we probably will go into see what's next. Okay, again, I think, Preetham, your area, the extension that you're talking about, compliance, probably
Right.
want to go into it.
So like we're like it mentions Android here because that's the bigger piece of the pie. But yes. So to also answer questions, like we support multiple different platforms on our products, and we want to do feature parity across all different platforms that we support. So yes, the compliance work that we're trying to do, uh, we'll be extending that to Android, not just Android, but Windows and Linux, which would be a lot of industry first that we're trying to do for a UEM product to be able to do compliance at that scale, and then and also from a user experience standpoint, it's going to be the same exact experience of having one click, but then to be able to remediate your entire fleet is going to be huge. And again, we're starting off with CIS level 1, but that's not where we're going to stop. And there's a lot more exciting news to come about all the different frameworks that we're supporting. And some of these frameworks are very critical for the organizations. I don't want to sign up the team and ask for it, but HIPAA could be one of those, and there's so many other things that are coming up with, which is super exciting times ahead.
Yeah. Just wanted to add the about the Android. We had I think last week the Android enterprise team announced it that they are providing the device trust signals. So now
Correct.
they're providing device trust signals using the MIP SDK not only to the EMM providers but to the MTDs and the identity providers, which is what we are also supporting in Android. Uh, Beyond, as you said, it would obviously be extended to Windows. So device trust from Android Enterprise is an offering from Android Enterprise where any provider can actually use the signals, and not only use the signals, build the compliance, and then also have conditions
Right.
around it beyond the auto remediation. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to call out that from Android Enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, like as you're saying, it kind of slipped my mind is the fact that now the admins have full granular control on what defines a compliance of a device,
Yeah.
right? So with this feature, now you can define. So you can just take CIS as is, or you can customize it to your liking, right? So we just give you a guidance, and then you can take it, and then you can deviate from it, and we'll tell you how far you've deviated away from what CIS. But that doesn't mean all organizations have to be, it's all or nothing. It's not that game. So you can customize it to your liking, whatever fits your organization. And then you can take that and then we define a compliance state based on what you've defined, and now you can leverage that with soon to be coming in OneIdP, where now you can use that for conditional access, and that's super exciting. So
Yeah.
it becomes even more powerful.
I think you and Funny should do a webinar on the entire compliance piece that we have. I think it'll be interesting to
Yeah.
explain some of the choices that we have done and how it fits.
Yeah, we plan on doing that. So 100%.
Nice, nice.
And yeah, if people in the chat, if you're interested, let us know, and we're more than happy to figure out a time that works for all of us. I'm super excited about the possibilities.
Let's see what's next. Okay, yeah. OneIDP on the OneIDP side, currently we only support SAML at this point of time, and we have been working on extending it to the OAuth, so that if you have OAuth applications, that also can be used by OneIDP to get a complete zero trust application access. For the people who are new, OneIDP does offer you the ability not only for SSO but kind of a conditional access SSO, where the users would not be allowed to sign in unless the device is managed or the conditions that you set. And that's what Preetham was saying, is we can extend our compliance to kind of meet the OneIDP conditions as well. Like you can say that unless the device is compliant, don't give the users the access. And that's something that we are working on but one step at a time. We would probably be launching the support for OAuth next month, so that all your OAuth apps also come into the fold of OneIDP. Cool. I guess that was it, everyone, for this time. We are open for questions, but if you have any questions, please reach out to support at Scalefusion, or if you want a demo, you can reach out to sales at Scalefusion, or the links are there on your screen, scalefusion.com, book a demo, and you can sign up and create a 14-day trial. Try every feature that we spoke about and every feature that's available on the dashboard, uh, and keep getting invites to these webinars. We are now open for questions, so I'll probably go to the chat. Okay, I'll just probably go serially. Does OneIDP does our OneIDP support for SSO with on-prem ADFS server? Has been asked by Mr. Rajesh Makwana. Mr. Rajesh, the current challenges I'll be honest, we are testing with the ADFS, but we have not been able to make it a success. We believe we are not able to crack the configuration, but if you could kind of work with us, we would definitely. We think standard SAML protocol. So at this point of time, we have not been able to make it work, but we can work with you to try and see if we can make it work. The next question is by Raymond. Does OneIDP portal can be accessed with all browser? Raymond, like with our main Scalefusion, our primary commitment to support is Chromium-based browsers, which happen to be Chrome and Edge, but we do have tested it on Safari and Firefox. And at this point of time, there are no known issues. So all the end user browsers, or the browsers that typically are used, have been tested with. Does Scalefusion have the capability to set up and enforce user roles? Example, standard based on an identity provider or configured user groups. Yes, if you're asking about the access to the device, then you do have user-based profiles. Depending upon the user who logs in to the device, their access will be determined. You can create the users, you can upgrade or downgrade them from the Scalefusion user, and then once the user logs in, the policy specific to the user apply. This is on the device side. On the Scalefusion, yes, we do. On dashboard, you can have a lot of role-based access, where you can define the admin's roles and capabilities. On OneIDP portal, are possible to add non-web-based applications, non-web-based. Raymond, if you could please elaborate on that. You can add bookmarks, but they can be web bookmarks. And Raymond asks, can CIS benchmark support on Windows? Preetham, I guess I should have you answer this. I believe you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes, we do have support for Windows coming pretty quickly. Like I said, we want to do parity across all platforms. So not just Windows, but Linux is also something to watch out for.
That's great. And I believe you're saying that we are also looking at other benchmarks as well, like the level 1 and level 2.
So it's going to be, it's going to be a full breadth of the whole compliance features, like different benchmarks that you want to do and different baselines that you can pick, and you can even make up your own to a point where it becomes your custom benchmark that can be applied.
Nice. Elad asks, is there an estimation to support Skim with Okta, Skim user creation? Elad, if you could elaborate, we are already exploring the Okta integration. We should be starting development almost in a week. But this would be about importing the users and groups from Okta. Are you looking at syncing users to Okta, that is automatically creating, when you create a user in OneIDP, you want them to sync from Okta, or you want to sync from Okta to Scalefusion? Sync from Okta to Scalefusion is already in the progress. Just so that everyone knows, we do support Okta-based SAML sign-in to the devices and to the Scalefusion dashboard. We do, however, not support the importing of users and groups, which is what we are working on at this point of time. Okay, we will kind of take a bit more questions. I want to sync from Okta to Scalefusion. Yes, Elad, it is in the pipeline. We have explored both the Skim and API-based approach. We should have something by mid of July or end of July. or before that. That's the current estimate. Okay.
Awesome.
Looking at, so we probably are almost done. If there are no other questions, cool. I think we are at the halfway mark, and so yeah, thank you, Preetham. Thank you for joining us, and probably we'll sync in another 3 hours. Excited to do another round next month, and
Yeah.
probably, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
kind of ready to do in the Indian time zone or the Asia time zone, like works for you.
Yeah, I guess we should do that. I mean, who cares about sleep? So let's do that.
Oh, now that I have you say that on the camera, we will
I can take it back.
probably we will get rest of the folks as well. So yeah, thank you everyone. Let's see you everyone and the next edition of this webinar. Cool. I think we have a question. We are planning to migrate all Okta-based employees to Scalefusion. Could you please guide us on how to initiate this process for our company? I think to say yes, we can consider this if you want to use Scalefusion's OneIdP, but I would believe explaining that on the call would be a little hard. So maybe if you can reach out to sales@scalefusion.com or support@scalefusion, or you can just open scalefusion.com and kind of start chatting with our support team. We can definitely guide you. The process should be simpler.
Yeah.
We don't have import at this point of time, so we would have to manually import. But other than that, you can import all your users to OneIdP. But we would have to hear your use case and see if we can uh, fulfill all your use cases before we can answer that completely. Cool. Okay, I think I don't see any other questions. Thank you, Bernard, and thank you, Shashi and Santosh.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Mr. Ram asked that if there will be a recording. I believe yes, and there would be a link shared for this later. Okay, thank you, everyone. See you next month. Thank you.
See you, everyone.